Welcome to Webisode 5. This week we're going to be barbecuing, and barbecuing happens to be one of my specialties. So let's jump right in. Today we're going to be working on a tri-tip and some barbecue chicken. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is take this chicken. Now the chicken that I'm using is a typical frying chicken, and let's go ahead and spread this out on the plate so we can season it like such. I'm going to show you some of the seasonings that I usually work with. First we're going to douse it with some salt. I've got some Himalayan pink salt right here. Give a good coating of that. And then we're going to put some onion powder, as well as some garlic powder. Now garlic powder, I always apply generously. Now, let's go ahead and put this on barbecue. Alright, so when you put your meat on, you're going to want to sear it first, and then sear both sides, and then lower the flame by half, so that you get a nice low flame and you slow cook that meat until it's nice and tender. You don't want to cook it too fast because it'll dry out. Alright, so we've got our meat here on the grill, chicken, and we're going to go ahead and lower this flame by half because we don't want to burn the chicken. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to season our tri-tip. Tri-tip is also one of my specialties because, I don't know, it just says it tastes good. So, I think we're going to use some kosher salt. Everything tastes better kosher, right? So, let's put this on, not too generously. We're just going to give a nice light coating on this tri-tip, just so you can start to see it. Kosher salt is always a little bit more stronger than regular salt, so you don't have to use it as much. And then we're going to get some onion powder, as well as garlic. Now it looks like I'm putting a lot on, but you have to understand that most of it burns off from the fire, so you want to put enough on. Now the other thing we're going to do is put on my favorite thing, Peter Luger's. Peter Luger's makes everything taste good. If you've got meat and you want it to taste good, you gotta rub this all over it. Just lather it up. It's gonna taste great. So I'm gonna put this on and we'll be right back. Now as you can see, I've got a large kitchen spoon here, and the thing I like to do with applying the sauce is use a spoon. Typically people use a meat painting brush to smear it on, but I find that when you use a brush, it rubs the spices off. So I like to use a spoon. Now this I'm going to apply rather largely and generously. And then we're going to put this on the grill, and it's going to stretch out. Now this thing is a beast. This is, I think, just over 2 pounds of solid cow. But we're going to want to season that other side, like I said. Alright, so this chicken is starting to cook up nice right now. Very nice. We're going to flip it over. Now, just when I think it's about, I'd say 3/4 of the way done, what you want to do is apply the Peter Luger's. Apply your sauce when it's 3/4 of the way done. Some people put it on right when they start it, but by the time they're done, that chicken is burnt, and the sauce burns on top of it. My trick is I put it on when it's almost done, so that it gets a caramelized flavor, it gets a caramelized texture and doesn't burn up all the way. That's the way I like it. And also, this tri-tip has been up, and we want this to get nice and seared so the juices stay locked inside. I think that looks about good. We're going to go ahead and flip that over. Oh yeah, that's crazy good right there. That is crazy good. I am going to tell you my next trick, which is every time I flip this meat over, I'm giving it another coat of Peter. Alright, so this meat is now seared on both sides, so I'm going to go ahead and flip this again and then lower the flame. Lower that flame so it gets a chance to cook the insides of the meat and not just the outsides. Now I've also lathered my chicken with Peter Luger's, my steak sauce, and I'm going to flip it again. And I'm going to just keep flipping this until I think that the sauce has started to caramelize. It doesn't really taste good to have really juicy sauce. You want it to be more thick and like a honey texture. Oh my gosh, this chicken is amazing. It's like speaking to me. You're so good. Okay, I think this chicken is done. I can tell because all that sauce is nice and caramelized, starting to get a nice crispy outer. Not too crispy though, just a slight crisp. And I think that we're done. So I got a bowl here and I'm going to go ahead and put this in here and set it off to the side while my tri-tip finishes. Usually tri-tips take about 45 minutes. So we're going to have a little bit of a time difference in between the chicken cooking and the meat cooking. Alright, this tri-tip is getting there. Definitely getting there. But when we press our tongs into it, you can kind of see that it really sinks into it, which means that it's still raw. So I'm going to put some more coating on this and give it some more fire. Let the flames arise! Woo! Just kidding. No, everything's under control here. We just have a little bit of fire action. Animals burn weird ways. Animals burn in mysterious ways. Alright, now comes the most important part, cutting it. We're going to take this steaming meat off. Hopefully it's not raw inside. Now the most important part of cutting your tri-tip is cutting it at an extreme angle. So I'm going to get this, and I'm going to take this blade and really put it flat and start cutting this thing off, cutting it off. When you cut the meat this way, it's tender. If you cut it directly down, it gets really tough. And all your effort in cooking it will have been lost. Alright, so this is the final product. A lovely plate of meat, ready to go, ready to eat. Look at that. All that juice down there. That's what you want. Well, this has been Webisode 5. And I'm signing off.